Okay, so after doing what we've done, we have worked through our approach to completing an exam style question. We've completed part 1, we've completed step 2, we've completed step 3, we've completed step 4, okay, and now we are on to step 5. We've finished with our income statement and a balance sheet, but what we need to do, we need to refer to it to create our journals to close off the trading and to profit and loss and to capital. So we prepare our journal entries to close off, okay, and then we've got our reversing journals, and that's all we need to do for this question. So let's get cracking. Right, so first things first, we need to close off to trading. And our trading account. The trading account is this section here for a trading business that calculates our gross profit, okay? This here is our trading account. So first of all, sales, being a revenue, is a credit. So in order to close it off, we need to debit it. So sales, shrink this down a little bit. Sales, 321, 500, and credit trading account, 321, 500. Again, no narrations in our exam style questioning, so we'll just move on. Alright, so that's this one here done. Now we need to close off our sales returns and our cost of goods sold. Both of these are a debit, so in order to close them off to trading, we need to debit trading and credit these. Oh, 6,000. Cost of goods sold, 50,981. Okay, let's let Excel do our maths for us. Equals that plus that, 56,981. Okie doke, so that's our trading accounts closed off to trading. So what we need to do now is close off our trading account to profit and loss. So our trading account, if we can visualize the ledger, okay, our trading account would have a credit of 321 minus a debit of 56,981. Okay, so the closing balance at this stage of the trading account is the difference between these two, which you'll find naturally is this figure here. So we want to journal that figure down into our profit and loss. So we need to debit trading because it currently has a credit balance. Just fix the formatting there. Okay, for 264, 519, and then we're sending it to profit and loss account, 264, 519. Right, so that's that process to close off to trading and then send our trading gross profit down into the profit and loss account. Because in an income statement, I mean, eventually these figures all flow down here into our net profit anyway. So we're closing off to profit and loss now, and first things first, as we work down our income statement, we want to close off commission on sales and rent revenue. So these guys here, these accounts, they are revenue, therefore they are credit. So in order to zero them, make them zero, we need to debit them. So commission on sales, 790, and rent revenue, again with the formatting issues, credit profit and loss account. Okay, equals that plus that. Almost there, getting there. June 30. This step of the process, guys, there are a bunch of journal entries, yes. Is it really all that hard? I wouldn't have thought so. Okay, it's just a matter of taking these accounts, remembering what their nature is, what the nature of an expense is, and journaling it to its opposite side. So here we want to close off all of our expenses. Expenses are debits, so in order to zero them, we need to credit them and debit the profit and loss account. This here, the maths has already been done for us because all of these accounts that we're going to put over here have been subtotaled into here. So we just want this 44,745 amount. The beauty of the video here, guys, is that sometimes when I'm up in front of class doing this, I might be going too slow for some people, I might be going too fast for some people, too fast for some people to just really digest what's going on. So with a video, you have the luxury of being able to pause, go back, re-listen, and hopefully you'll find this quite beneficial for your study. If ever at all you want to quickly check the adding of a bunch of numbers, just to double check that these figures do in fact add up to this one here. Okay, in Excel, you can highlight a bunch of cells, and you'll notice down the bottom when you highlight a group of cells, it just gives you a quick sum down in the bottom thing down here. And you probably can't even see that in the video. I can see it on my screen though. If I bring that down here, you can see it now. Okay, so I've highlighted those, that appears down the bottom, and we can see that matches that. Okay, so that is, everything is closed off to profit and loss. Alright, and we are left with, in our profit and loss ledger account, again, trying to visualize how our ledger account would look after posting credit 264, credit 12,290, less debit 44. Okay, just like our income statement reads, we will be left with a closing balance in our profit and loss ledger account of this figure here. As you saw in the second video, okay, as we set up our income statement in our balance sheet, this figure here flows down into our owner's equity section of our balance sheet. So it's for this reason, okay, and hopefully you're making the connections now about how this all comes together and why we do these journal entries. So we need to do one more journal entry here, that is debit profit and loss, credit capital, okay, in order to send this figure here down into here. Alright, so June 30. Okay, and we want to debit profit and loss, again with the formatting. Yeah. 232.64. Okay, and so with that journal entry, okay, that is all we have to do now to close off to trading, profit and loss, and to capital. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the process. In our exam, we could close off our drawings to capital as well, but that's not one of the requirements of the exam or of this question. So let's move on. Now, one of the last things that we learned in the unit before we went on to ratio analysis, we briefly touched on reversing entries. We didn't spend a great deal of time on it because we had to move on. We were strapped for time. But the explanation is, okay, reversing entries are when we reverse the balance day adjustments. So as at the 30th of June, we have done all of these balance day adjustments, okay, to match our revenue with our expenses. And basically what we're trying to do, particularly with prepaid expenses, is we're trying to take it out of insurance in this financial year, temporarily put it into an asset account so that we can then claim that insurance expense in the following financial year. So without overthinking it, okay, our reversing entries, all we are doing is reversing these. Okay, so all we're doing is getting this entry here, and where this is a debit, we're making it a credit. Okay, just getting the entries and flipping them around. Okay, so with that in mind, when it comes to the exam, I don't want you to get muddled up, but a little trick might be is to quickly hide these journal entries. Okay, just hide them temporarily. Okay, and just quickly reverse these entries. Okay, so we want to debit insurance 8,600 and credit prepaid expenses. And all we're doing is reinstating that insurance expense in the new financial year. We note that the date is the 1st of July. Okay, here we've done the balance day adjustments at the last day of the financial year. Here we are reversing them first day of the new year. Let's race against the clock to get this done. So earned revenue was a credit before, now it's a debit in our reversal. Earned revenue. Okay, so we've done these two. Now we want accrued expenses debit. For $400. Electricity. And okay, now this interest expense entry. So we want accrued expenses 530. 530 in the credit, and this is interest expense. Now I need to go back and fix up that formatting. You're not going to have formatting issues like this on the exam, okay? I've made sure that the template is all fine. Just one of these irritating things that the template's been modified a few times over the years. Okay, so they are the reversing entries, okay? Exactly the opposite of the balance day adjustments that we've prepared previously, okay? And that is all we have to do. What we do need to do now is to unhide all those other journal entries, okay? I just hid all those ones so that we can quickly see these, reverse them. Now let's go and unhide. So right click, highlight the lines, right click, and then unhide, okay? And now all of our other journal entries have reappeared. And that is it for completing that exam style question, okay? Following those steps of code the raw data, complete the income statement and the balance sheet, prepare the balance day adjustment journals and the GST clearing, split the screens, then adjust the income statement and the balance sheet, making sure that with each journal entry the balance sheet still balances. Okay, close off with our new balances in our income statement and income statement balances. Okay, and then go and prepare those reversing entries. Okay, time is almost up with this video. Hope that helped.